So now we will see callback function in JavaScript. So guys, basically a callback is a function that is passed as an argument to another function over here, and this we are going to check with the help of examples as well. Now guys, this particular technique allows a function to call another function. So guys, a callback function can run after another function has finished over here. So guys, let us move to VS Code in this case, and simply we are going to create a new file over here. So we have this callback.js file in this case. Now guys, what we will do is simply first of all let us create a couple of functions over here. So simply we will have the first function, that is add in this case, which is going to take two numbers, that is num1 and num2, and simply this particular function is going to return the sum of these two numbers. So simply we are going to have return num1 plus num2 over here. So guys, as you can see, this is a very simple function, that is the add function. It is going to take two parameters, that is num1 and num2, and simply it is going to return the sum of these two numbers over here. Now guys, apart from this, we also want to have another function in order to display the sum of these two numbers. So simply we are going to define another function, that is display over here. It is going to take one parameter, that will be sum in this case, and it is going to print this sum. So over here simply we are going to have the console.log statement, and inside this we are going to say sum is, and then followed by the sum variable over here, which is passed to this display function. So guys, how do we call these two functions over here? Let us check that as well. So first of all, we will have the result variable, in which case it is going to get the result of the two numbers that we are going to pass to this particular add function. So basically result, it is equal to, we need to call the function that is add over here with the two numbers. So let us provide the two numbers as 10 and 20 over here. So guys, what exactly is happening in this case? Add is going to be called over here with 10 and 20, that is number 1 and number 2, and basically we are going to have the sum of these two numbers getting returned, and that sum will be stored inside this particular result variable. And then guys, we can use this result variable in order to call the display function so that the result can be printed over here. So simply we are going to call the display function, and then we are going to pass the result variable this time. So let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file. So guys, as you can see, sum is equal to 30 over here, because 10 plus 20 it is equal to 30. So guys, this is a very simple operation that we have achieved in JavaScript. Now guys, there is a problem in this case. We are calling the two functions over here, that is add function first of all to add the two numbers, and then followed by the display function as well, in order to print this particular result variable. So can we reduce this particular number of calling of the functions to 1? Yes, we can do so. So basically when we call this particular add function, we can simply call the display function from within this particular add function over here. So what we will do is, instead of having the return statement in this case, simply we are going to have the variable that is sum, it is equal to num1 plus num2, that is the sum of two numbers, and then what we will do is over here only we are going to call the display function along with the sum variable over here, and we can simply comment this particular line of code, that is display, along with the result variable. So guys, what exactly will happen is simply we are going to call this add function over here. So we are going to get the sum inside the sum variable, and the display function will call automatically within this add function. So guys, when we run this code once again over here with different parameters, so let's say we have 10 and 30 this time. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, sum is 40 right now. So guys, we are achieving the same functionality over here even by reducing the function call to one function. In this case, the add function is calling the display function from within its body. Now guys, to understand the callback function over here, what we will do is, instead of just providing the two parameters, that is number 1 and number 2, we are going to have a third parameter over here while calling this add function, and it is going to be another function over here. In this case, we are going to call the display function. So guys, simply we will provide the display function, which is going to be a callback function this time. So guys, notice that when we are providing this, function as the parameter to another function, we don't have to provide the open and close parenthesis which is required in order to call that function. So simply we provide the name, that is display, as the third parameter over here, and this particular parameter needs to be assigned to another variable while we are defining this add function. So let us say we provide the name as the callback over here, which will be having the display function this time, and then guys we can simply use this callback as the function name in order to display the sum of the two numbers that we have already found. So guys, over here instead of providing the display function, we can simply provide the callback parameter that we have passed over here, and indirectly it is going to call the display function because that is what we are passing to the add function over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, again we are getting the sum, it is equal to 40 this time, and this is how we provide the callback function over here. Now guys, this is a very simple example in order to understand the callback function. In reality, the callback functions will be called along with the asynchronous calls of the JavaScript. Now what is the meaning of asynchronous calls? Basically, whatever function calls happen in the JavaScript, those are non-blocking calls over here. JavaScript does not wait for the function execution to be completed and it goes to the next line of code while it is executing the entire JavaScript program. So guys, that is the meaning of asynchronous call, which means it is having the non-blocking behavior. So let us understand that as well. So instead of calling the callback function directly over here, what we will do is simply I am going to provide the set timeout, which means we are going to wait for certain time period over here which we are going to define. So guys, simply as you can see, we can provide the timeout over here. So let us say we provide the timeout of 3 seconds over here. In this case, we have to provide the timeout in terms of milliseconds. That is why we have provided 3000 milliseconds. And then guys, after the 3 second over here, the callback, that is the display function, is going to be called in this case. And this is how some real world applications will work based on your project requirements. Whenever you are going to call certain API in order to get the responses and wait for that particular responses, the JavaScript interpreter will execute this line of code and then it will simply go to the next line of code over here. So simply let us provide another console.log statement in this case, and over here we are going to print a simple message that is done. So if you notice, even though we have provided the callback function, that is the display function over here, before providing the console.log statement that is having the message done over here, but still we will get this particular message first, and then after 3 seconds we are going to get the sum of the two numbers that we have already passed. And that is the meaning of asynchronous calls, which means the JavaScript interpreter will not wait for this particular line of code to execute, but it will simply go to the next line to execute the other lines of code. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, done message is already printed, and then after 3 seconds we are now getting the sum is 40 over here, that is displayed with the help of this particular display function, which is getting called by using the callback parameter over here. So guys, in this way you can simply provide the callback function as the parameter to another function over here, which can be called based on certain tasks which are already executed by using the asynchronous programming in JavaScript. So guys, this is a very basic example as far as the callback function is called. We are going to learn more about such callback functions when we are going to talk about asynchronous JavaScript calls in the upcoming videos. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to talk about asynchronous calls in JavaScript. So stay tuned.